It's Doom there from Dungeons and New Biscuits. We're on the Darkmantle in the 3.5 Monster Manual today. And this is actually take 2 because I started making the shape of it and I pried it off my coffee can and it went flying and I lost it. So we're going to try it again and we're going to do it a little more carefully this time. So basically this is a size small creature that really brings nothing to the table as far as combat goes. It's not powerful. A level 1 fighter could just destroy this thing. Maybe a group of them would be a threat, but one of them is a threat to no one. So I'm cutting 8 very small pieces of wire. They're going to be his tentacles. I've already prepared a size small base. And the deal with these guys is they hang on the ceiling of a cave like a stalactite. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they kind of drop down and jump on you. They have a constrict and stuff. They can cast darkness in an AoE around them, and they do have blind fight, so they can see during this. But mind you, they have blind fight, not dark vision. All right. So we have a glob of glue, and I'm just going to evenly space these in here. And then I'm going to go around and do the in-between parts, and that's how we're going to get our basic frame. Now these wires will likely not be this long when we cut this thing down, because he is size small, and we want to try to stay true to that. If you saw the cockatrice video, I actually did that before I started this series on the Monster Manual. And it was what started this series. My wife was like, you should do the whole Monster Manual. And I was like, all right, Mrs. Doom, we could try that. All right, let's let that cool down. And then we'll get it off to base. So what I'm thinking is we get that shape. We put it on some fabric, because they have this, like, I don't know, like that. And then we cut that out so it's like, you know, curved around. And then we'll build up his center form. And then we'll work out onto the cloth. We'll work out the tentacles. And then instead of having him sitting on the ground, I think we're going to do this like a flight stand. We can start working on that now while we're waiting for that to cool all the way. So to make the flight stand, it doesn't have to be very big. So we're just going to get a small piece of popsicle stick. I'm going to put a dab of glue here. We're going to twist that around so it catches up on the sides some. And we're going to rub it around and get it in place where we want it. Just like that. Then we're going to get some small stones to give some support to it. We're just going to push those up against it. Oops. Man, my hands are not behaving. Thanks, arthritis. And then we're going to get a dab of super glue going off that base and let it kind of run down and catch some of these rocks. And we'll set this off to the side in front of the fan to dry. So that's all it is. Alright, let's go back to our Darkmantle here and see where we're at with him. Can we pry him directly off this base? Let's try. Now, the last time I did this, like I told you a few minutes ago, I flung this thing across the basement and lost it. So this time, I want to be a little more careful getting it loose. Okay. I did not send it all over the world this time. We still have it. Alright, so we fix our little legs we broke there. And then what I think to do here would be, yeah, something like that. So let's bend these down so they can be flat and stick to this well. Oh, I pulled that one right out like a dumbass. Okay, can I get it back in there? Maybe not. All right. So what I want to do here is I want to get these in place like this. So I'm starting here, and I'm just kind of dragging out to make a tentacle with the glue. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how good or bad of an idea this is going to be, or how well this is or isn't going to work. Okay. You can see what I'm doing. Those three are kind of popped up a little bit, so let's let that cool. Let's let that cool, and then we'll try to work those down a little bit. Of course, that's exactly what happens. I am the worst at using super glue or hot glue. I don't even know what stuff's called. Okay, those are pushed down about as good as I can get them, I think. We want to kind of make sure those are touching that cloth and catching it good too. So just shove those down if you have to get them attached. All right, so from here, we have a decent shape to start with for our Darkmantle. We know he's size small, and we could add a little nubbin onto him, I guess, to kind of get the top shape, a cone of some sort. I have a piece of tinfoil sitting here from a failed attempt at whatever we made yesterday, the codal. So I'm just going to get that. Stick that in the middle of that shape there. It's not really a cone, but it'll work for what I want it to. All right. And then we want to kind of cut in between these a little bit. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Probably should have done that first. So how to do that, I think, would be to pull these off of here if we can, about yay far back. There we go. Something like that'll work. That one didn't come loose easy. We'll have to come back to it. All right. There we go. All right, so what we want to do is we want to get some scissors. And if you have some smaller scissors, that might be better for this. All right, this is something we can work with, I'm pretty sure. So now we just need to kind of cut these at a little bit of a I'm having trouble getting a hold of that one. There we go. You get that a little better there. Can't get under there. Come on. Let's go. And then this last one here, we'll get it cut under there. I just made you say underwear. Okay. Something like that. We're going to need to reattach those to an extent too. So keep that in mind as we're working here. And there's also some little weird spots like that one right there. And to handle that, we're just going to drag these up from each tentacle and try to hide what we got going on here with this guy, okay? Alright, let's let that cool for a minute. Now, this looks pretty big for a size small. I do understand that. But you have to understand it. For me, to work at something this tiny, like let's get a regular mini. He's going to look like a medium-sized miniature in comparison. But if you look at the fact that most of his mass is emptiness when we bend him around and get him into shape, because that's what we're going to have to do here next, keep in mind that this is not... I'm going to chop that down a little bit. Nope, stuck to me a little bit. That happens. You'll have that. And these should be able to bend some too, I'm guessing. Yeah, we can bend these some as we need to. Alright, cool. So we're going to cut off these longer ones. And any weirdness we don't like. And let's talk about getting him on that base real quick. Alright. Our flight stand should be ready. Sturdy. Good. So we're going to get him. And we're just going to reattach the cloth to that where we peeled it away. What we're going to do is get our lighter and drag that back into it. Sorry, this is not a lighter. This is a oh, I'm stuck like Chuck. Okay. I got spider webs all over my hand. I need to cut my nails. Alright. So we're going to put a dab of glue on this. We're going to get it in the center there. We're going to get it good and solid and stuck. Then we'll let that hold for a minute until we get it in place. Now, we're going to be able to bend this all around, but first we got to get this bottom solid. So we're just going to get some glue and just let it absorb into some of that fabric. And then we're going to drag him back into place. There we go, like that. And let that go for a minute. So we don't want him to be flat out like this, right? We want him to be kind of like bent down and crazy in ways. So we're going to utilize the fact that we used these metal wires in here and kind of bend his shape up. Like that. And we want to bend him in such a way that it looks a little more natural and impending. All right. Something like that, I think. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some little snips on these end of the tentacles to make them pointed. If I can. Whoops. All right. I lost my little toothpick. There it is. There's a piece of glue right here that we don't really want to look like a piece of glue. Alright. Something like that seems a little more realistic in shape, I think. Make sure none of his tentacles are hitting the ground. I'd like to bend this one down a little more. Oops. Okay. Now, according to the cover art, or the reference art we took from the monster manual, this dude has eyes all the way around him. And I couldn't even begin to tell you how we're going to capture that in any kind of reasonable way when we paint him. But we'll have to see what happens. So we want to get under here, because this is not sticking well. So we want to get under here with a little bit of baking soda. I had baking soda. There it is. There we go. And just want to get the tiniest drop to solidify that so it stops moving around on us. There we go. Just like that. And then, where's that lid I use all the time? Oh, here it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of paint some of this fabric, and first I'm going to soak this fabric a little bit. Did I miss this spot? And this is going to sturdy him up significantly. And what I want to do is, while that's wet still and not hard as a rock, I want to kind of move this cloth around to get it where I want it to sit a little better. I can bend his leg a little bit if I have to. This way. I'm going to push that cloth out. Alright, then we're just going to get some glue. We're going to paint him. This is just going to add some strength. And we want to grab that little bit of drops of glue off the bottom of these tentacles and just spread it around elsewhere. Okay. Sorry, geez Louise, I'm gagging and dying. Hope I don't have the coof or something. I really don't care if I do. I'll survive, but I survive everything. Alright, so this dude does need some more support down here. So we're just going to get a little more of this glue. And there's a fair amount of baking soda down here, I think. Let's just get that dropped in to solidify. Okay. Now he does have eyes in the cover art, like I said, or in the reference art. Okay. But I don't know how we're going to do those well. I don't have a good plan for that right at the moment. So what I'm going to do is we might just come back and do little dots on there. I don't have anything that small that I can even think of that I could use for eyes like that. We could cut little teeny pieces of something, but will I be able to put them on there nicely is the next question after that. What do I have this little? Lots of little stuff, but nothing that's good for this. I think the best thing to do is to either not do those because he's so tiny, or to okay, right there we have a spot where that is not stuck to him. So what we're going to do is we're going to just try to bend that down and get it stuck there again. Tiny bit of glue. I don't think using glue here was smart, but we don't want any gaps between the tentacles and that fabric. And that kind of pulled up. Okay. We can just burn any of the little spots where there's spider webs. Alright, so there we go. When I come back for part 2, we're going to base coat him and then paint him. I think this is going to be a pretty easy paint job, honestly, unless I'm dumb. So, alright, so thanks for watching. My name is Doom. Well, Doom Biscuit, but Doom for short. And I am Dungeons and Doom Biscuit here on YouTube. I'm also half of the DungeonSwag.com team, and I talk about this in every video, and I know you're probably tired of hearing it. But we have a miniature business that my friend Asko and I run out of our basements. I do this side of it, and he does the printing and the mailing and stuff. We choose the miniatures together, and we have an artist that we work with who's phenomenal, who just does some of the best work I've ever seen. And we send you 6, 7, 8, maybe more, depending on the size of the miniatures, in a loot crate every month for $15, $16. And that includes shipping and everything. So if you break it down, they're under $3 a miniature every time. We do some one-off sales as well, where you can buy models that were too big to include in the kits, because we want to make sure you're getting a bunch of miniatures. So the bigger models that we own don't go into the kits. They don't go into the loot crates. They're separate. And we're starting to add those one-on-one into the boxes. This month, we put together a box of adventuring heroes that you could build a party with. Some months we do hobgoblins or bugbears or whatever it may be. I think we're discussing the potential of using size small enemies and making a really big box for September. In October, we're going to do orcs because we do them every October. So anyways, we do these boxes and we sell the one-offs. And right now, if you want to check out our box, you can go in the discount code in the description of my videos. It's Doom Biscuit or Doom Biscuits. I can't remember which off the top of my head. And get 25% off that first month. And then you can turn around and go and join our Discord, and we have a code there where you can actually get a miniature sent to you at no cost. I mean, no shipping, no price for the mini or anything. You just get one of our minis. They're high quality, they're resin, they're flexible and sturdy. The detail on them is insane, and the price is super reasonable. You can't even go to your local gaming shop and get a mini cheaper. So please check us out. I really encourage you to. I do love doing this, but we actually do this. I do this to help promote the business on top of the fact of just loving role-playing games and stuff. So do me a favor, check it out, see what you think. Join our Discord and make some of this stuff. You saw how easy it was to make this guy. It took a few minutes, but it turned out decent. And it's going to be a nice enemy that you've probably never used against your characters in your parties. Especially if you're the DM, I guess I should be referring to the DM specifically. I've never used one. I always thought they were kind of lame and dumb. But now that I have a miniature, hey, I might toss one at them. And they'll be like, well, what is this? I've not seen it. Except for the few metagamers that read the monster manual. So anyways, thanks for watching. Come back for part 2 and we'll paint this guy up. And have a great day.